You guys, it's MJ from Ulta Love. How are you? I just felt inspired to go live because I've had like quite a triggery day. Literally after last week, me being like, guys, I hardly ever get triggered anymore. And then today, the last couple days have been kind of intense. And some of you guys who've been with me for a while, like you just recognize like as real with you. Like, so I have a wonderful gift and like this spiritual insight and awareness, and it's beautiful. Then I'm just like this human in the world, and I ebb and flow, and I have emotions, and I just feel my depths. And I'm still really practicing the whole like discipline your mind thing, and at the same time I have this history of women's studies and feminism and this, you know, really feeling the burden of oppression, recognizing that oppression is like a systematic thing, and that, you know, to a systematic thing, and that, you know, to a certain degree, the majority of humanity is enslaved and oppressed, and at the same time, we are powerful, and we have the ability to rise above it, and spiritual practices can often give us that. At the same time, I've witnessed that there's a whole bunch of what I call distortion, which means like there's still a lot of like, kind of like bullshitty judgment in like conscious communities or spiritual communities, which personally I could never quite res with. And I just have my own totally personal perspective. So, and then the reason I'm going live right now is because I have this beautiful person commenting about, why do you look so unhappy? Like, why are you so unhappy? And it's really just hit me of being like, and this is kind of triggering more about my past patterning of people who like, oh yay, sunshine, happiness, Molly. Oh yay, da da da. And then if I have a down day, they're all like, what's wrong? Where's the sunshine? Where's the happiness? Like as in, their mood was always reflecting of mine. So if I wasn't happy sunshine girl all the time, then they would like, and then I'd feel, right? So it's like this whole thing of honoring who we are as beings, and then I'm questioning like, what is happiness, and what is happiness and joy and bliss and ecstasy and all this love light? Like, what does it look like to people? Hey Andrea, word. And then there, again, this isn't like an attack. It's me just sitting with, because I'm feeling this like, yes, Mihari. I feel in my feminine circles at least, and actually like in some of my male circles as well, like there's a lot of energy around the patriarchy coming up. Like it's like this cellular purging of just ages of oppression and being denied and being silenced and being like, shh. And so this comment is weirdly triggering that memory for me of like, why aren't you put a smile on your, you know, suck your tummy in, put a smile on your face and be a good girl. So it's like, again, I don't know, it's only these last two before this one videos where it's like, why aren't you happy? Or like, I think it was something like, the comment was, and I don't mean to diss you, the person who commented this, but I'm just being honest about like I'm sensitive, you know, and it was something like, if this is a heart-based transmission, then why do you look so forlorn and unhappy? And I was just like, like, one, I'm not forlorn. I might not be like, hi guys, all the time, like super joyful and da 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 da, because that's not who I am. And part of my whole purpose of coming out with spiritual wisdom or teachings or any of that is just me being as transparent and real as possible, as often as I can, because I often on my journey became almost disoriented by like, you know, Eckhart Tolle or Deepak Chopra, you know, like these men that we're supposed to listen to, and we're supposed to be like these yoga teachers, and this is how you're supposed to do it. And then with my feminist background, I'm acutely aware that like, dominantly speaking, like even in India, most of like the yoga tradition is, women weren't allowed to fucking practice yoga back, you know, in that history either. And so all of this female empowerment stuff and this new age spirituality stuff, people want to fucking diss it, but I'm like, but it's because of us. It's because we're speaking up. It's because we have voices. It's because we're not being persecuted, and because we're starting to really feel the reality of oppression, of systematic oppression. And I guess looping it back into me being triggered by this comment, it's that as a woman, no, I don't have to be happy all the time. I don't have to have my shit together all the time. I don't have to have a perfect house or know how to cook or know how to clean or any of that. And you know, like, as in, I don't have to be happy all the time, and nor do you. And I think any of us in a yoga community or spiritual community and like love light and like what I perceived is that all the talk of love light was still in denial of anger, jealousy, resentment, and those are stuff once we hook into all the spiritual stuff, we get even more shamed about it. You know, we almost get, people don't want to talk about their emotions. This is why it's a really tricky thing, right? Because they're kind of invisible. People can still hide from them, but more empathic we are and the more we rise, we can feel it. And none of us want to admit, I'm jealous, or I resent you, or blah, 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 right? But that's the road we're on. That's like straight up, you guys, that's the journey I've had to do within myself, is being brutally, brutally honest about where I judge myself, thus I judge others. So if I'm in self-judgment and self-loathing, I project that onto people. I put people down. I divide and sort of split people up because of that self-judgment, right? And so anywho, I'm just like, again, being real about like just getting triggered. And again, it's when these sort of things I really do see, like people have a perception. I personally don't necessarily think of myself as a teacher or as I don't think of myself as like a teacher or a guru, or people have called me lots of different things, including a spiritual teacher. I personally perceive myself more as an artist. I just create stuff, and I create stuff from within my own alignment, i.e. what feels right for me, what feels good for me, what feels compassionate, what feels aligned with a service that I think can make benefit for the whole. So, well, yeah, I'm a creator, I'm an artist, right? And thus, like, the way I kind of see some comments sometimes are like the same way people would go see an art exhibition and like make reflections or like make their own interpretation of the art. That's kind of like how I see your guys' comments sometimes, is like, you guys are just perceiving me how you need to, kind of thing. I want to read that, Andrea. Live chat. I get it, and it's crazy that everyone has these expectations that we're always, I know, it's all love and light, and let's just pretend like we never feel anything. I know, it's so, and like that's part of the breaking free, and where I've had to get really clear just within myself for the channel and the work that I meant to do, was like, yeah, all of these underlying like support groups that basically they're actually more of like control and domination groups, because you have to kind of fit into certain people's needs about this is the flow or this is how it should be and da 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 da. But it's more to do with control, and then it is actually dealing with our shit and owning our shit. And I don't know, the multi-layered intensity of this stuff is so multi-layered that I think people just get confused and kind of give up. And we get kind of tired of it, because today, and possibly increasingly so, what I'm getting is like some days are just going to be intense, and the triggers and the challenges and the waves coming through. At the same time, we are clearing lifelong, ancestral, genetic, long ages of oppression, systematic oppression. I know, but that's why our finding our peeps is so important, right? Like, I thank God now am finally feeling into relationships, partnerships, and people who literally like appreciate my wholeness as a human being, and all the veils have been lifted, but they also reflect and honor me. Like, so they reflect back to me like how I feel deservingness of myself, right? And so it's when you really, I think, are stepping into your worth and your value, people really reflect back to you those little inner dreams that you always had about yourself, and then finally people start reflecting them back to you. And so then the contrast becomes clear as day. People who manipulate, control, dominate, the people who, even in the last sort of couple months, people who have kind of sent a message or done something, my intuition knew. And then literally in the last couple of days, there it is. It comes out. So they might say they want this thing, and then eventually it's that thing, but the intuition always knows. So what I'm finding in business and personal relationships is clarity. and my intuitive ability to sense like this person isn't clear, and that's okay, you know, it is okay. But when it comes to working with people like myself, you got to be clear about what your intention is, what you're creating. And if you're not clear, take some inner time to get to know yourself, so you get clear about what you want, because otherwise we end up kind of just fucking with each other. I found you recently and so happy you're live today, so I could take the time and just say I love you, and you are far away kindred soul. Oh girlfriend, like I got a boost from a Luna Ash, and I'm so incredibly grateful, because like I can feel it. I can feel the resonance of you guys. It is, right? Like alone time is like sacred, and it's funny one. It's another one of these things that got flipped around on me, where like when I found out there was like some people kind of gossiping about me, and that was one of the kind of trails, was like, she has no friends, like she's alone all the time, and like it kind of hurt, because I could feel the kind of attacky. It wasn't like coming from a nice place, it was like twisting it to make it like I'm some lunatic, right? And then, but the truth of it is like, I just like, I've always been like a weird loner kid, and I love people. Like I love people that I feel comfortable with, absolutely. Like I do have, it's just my nature. Like I'm the classic introvert. I can be really good with social. I am incredibly empathic, so it can bombard me quite easily. I can start to pick up on like the multi-layered energetic threads that people are carrying, and so that can become quite twisted and tricky. But for the most part, like the people, my entourage, the people I choose to be with, the clients I choose to work with are like dynamic equanimous exchanges, right? So it's badass, it's awesome. So again, the other were vampiric, or people like sucking the life force out of me, or same difference, whatever, but like the people who lie to our face to suck from us, or like kind of vague, not sure what's going on, not sure what they want, not sure what they're after. Like that just gets kind of tricky to work with, the more clear and kind of anchored we become in ourselves, because the sovereign being attracts other sovereign beings, and that's what I'm finding in my integrity. I'm just attracting other empowered sovereign beings, and so we know how to let each other be sovereign. So there's no entanglements, there's no codependency, there's no emotional manipulation, because I'm no longer running those disempowered programs within myself. And only very recently, what up, 36 years old, only recently, I've still realized like all these unconscious programs around romance, love, and relationship, where again, it's triggering a deeper healing from the female oppression piece, that a lot of us as women were basically programmed just to devote our entire lives to him, because he's more important in the world, that kind of thing. And I know people will be like, shut up, girl. You're like, but it's true. Women still kind of are devoiced. Women still aren't paid as much. Women in the world are still like second-class citizens. And it's just, unfortunately, the way the system is set up. And I'm not complaining on behalf of women. I'm just saying there is systematic oppression. However, what we have to realize is that it's not a gender divide. This systematic oppression oppresses the masses. It oppresses all of people. Especially if you're living outside the collective box, not being normal, right? People are terrified of being alone, especially if you're living outside the box, not being a sheep anymore. Yeah, and that's something like I'm more withdrawn now, and I get triggered even recently with people being like, I think that we should be doing this, and I'm like, oh really? Is that what you think? Because I think I'm pretty damn busy at doing my life. It is important, and I'm just really realizing that people, like, it's partly unconscious, but they just disregard it. And I know this might seem kind of crazy to some people, but like, it's literally because I'm a girl. It's like they zone out when I start to talk about business, or they zone out about, I'm like, I'm busy, like I don't have time to do this, that, and that for you. But it's like they're not hearing that. They're like, what? But you're my sexual object, or you're my cleaner, or you're meant to be this accessory in my life, and I think that's where you should be. And you're just like, oh my God, I don't even think you realize what you're doing or you're saying. Anywho, I am, well, girlfriend, join me in Team Love over here in the UK, because we're all like, the kind of fringy weirdos, but now we're all starting to get together and support one another in the fact that we're like renegade compassion masters. I'm very happy sending people, but I'm so happy I can finally see the real. Let me get you back. Let me get you back, my friend. So happy I can finally see a real sensitive person we all our wishes to relate to. I love you. I love you guys. I love you guys. I'm so glad that you appreciate, because, oops, you know, because it's taken a while to get here, and there are still days. There are still days that I just want to delete those videos because I'm like, ugh. But then I'm like, what else, yo? I still am happier than ever, and I'm still like moving forward and creating amazing stuff for the world to make changes, like positive changes. What up? Like, I don't know, have you seen the plastic in the oceans? It's shit. So we got to make some changes, and I think the beautiful thing is, like, as overwhelming, as intense as it is, emotionally speaking, once we really get on that path of making change, the proof is in the pudding, because we actually start to feel better. But the feeling, here's looping it back. I think, Miss Kate, here's looping it back to the original thing about getting triggered because somebody's like, why are you unhappy? You're supposed to be happy. It's sunshine. If this is from your heart, why are you happy? I'm like, this is the whole point of my message, is that deep, deep down within, I am a woman who's very centered and at peace with herself. Like, and this is something about having spiritual awakenings when I was like a kid, basically. This like deep inner knowing, this rest in peace, this like super duper deep loving state, which means that I am in love with myself even when I'm sad. I am in love with my state of being and my state of consciousness, even when I'm a bit confused, or even when I'm not sure. I still have clarity in those moments. Thus, the light of my awareness can look at the sadness, the density, the 2,000 years of oppression story, the divide and conquer. I can like be sitting with all of these distorted energies, but I'm still in love. And just because I look sad, that's a perception. It doesn't mean that the experience of me being a bit like low like this, that doesn't mean I'm sad and depressed. It just means that I'm holding space for myself in that state of being, right? Oh, thank you. I know. You try to remind yourself, but like, it's like when you're getting bombarded by systematic oppression triggers that you've been carrying, you're just like, like, I'm not your fucking tool to be you know, all of that. Even though I'm like, I never, that's where I sometimes have to like delete some videos, because I'm like, I don't want to be outputting negative attacky vibes. At the same time, I know that it's valuable for me as just a random chica in the world to just show up and be real. Oh, balls. Ball sacks. Appreciation, you message, fierce self-love. It is. Like, straight up, you guys, I don't know if I did something wrong there, but I look really close close up to the camera, which you could probably see my beads of sweat, because I'm moving again. Talk about like collapsing timelines and shit, you guys, because like my life just has not stopped for like the last 2.5 years. It's been so intense. Oh, good. Oh, good. See, it triggered you too. I'm just like, holy shit, just feel the vibration, listen to the words, and accept that as a human, we all have a full spectrum of emotion. And that all of it is contained in the unity of love. So love can still be like, and like, this is, you guys get this, right? Like, some outsider could look at me at any moment in my car, for example, and I could be, oh, thank you, nice fun shirt, Elsa. And I might be crying my eyes out, like proper wailing, like, I'm like checking around to see if there's people, but like for real wailing like that. But inside myself, I'm like blissed out. I know, that's the paradox of all this shit. That's why I have to try to explain it to you guys. It's like, we have all these judgments against each other, but when you're really paying attention to when you're really paying attention to your own inner, sometimes for me, by the time the emotional waves are really purging out or like really waving through me, as in like again, once the clear out is actually happening, inside my awareness, I'm in this like deeply connected divine state of like, you're one and you're loved and you're connected and supported, and I'm so thankful. I'm like so thankful for this emotional release, and it's just this like beautiful experience. Hence why you open that doorway and you're just like, hey, why is everybody denying the emotional body? Why does everybody, every time we get sad or aren't perfectly happy, why is it like, what's wrong with you? Nothing is wrong. I'm just a full spectrum human. Ha! Clearing out the crap. It does feel great, right? Rather than denying it and trying to pretend to be a love light bubble all the time. See? And this is the truth. We drop into our truth and authenticity, and then we shine it out, and then booyakasha, we find other people who are like, oh my God, right? Right? And then, oh, thank God, what a relief. We can start to be more of who we are, right? I'm a dude! The vest, sorry, I'm saying what he's saying is that I'm a dude, you're a dude. But this is the truth of it as well. The beauty of the times that we're living in. We're like, balanced men understand what feminism is, right? Really, to me, feminism is simply about human rights. Feminism is just the fact that half a gender for a long, long time was totally fucking systematically oppressed and damn near wiped out. And so there's these waves of feminism, which is really just the plight of humanity coming into greater balance. Hence, men now have all a very, very similar spectrum of oppressive trauma. Men have been raped, men have sexual trauma, blah, 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 divine dudes. And we can meet, we can reflect back, we can share the shame, the guilt, and if anything, some guys have it even more difficult right now because they're just like, they've been so programmed to not feel and to not be feeling and to just put all their shit onto us. Now we can't bear it anymore, and we're like exploding with our emotions and having to clear out all the karmic backlog, and now it's coming up for them. Like now those waves are starting to really come through for them. Hence, like men and women alike, having these sorts of conversations, the more true we are, the more we just, what's the thing? Your vibe attracts your tribe. The vest. Yeah, but that's cool. I'm sure I've had waves where like most of my teachers were men, for example. And then right now, and I never even intended it. Right now, it just so happens that my entourage and my business partner these are women. But it's, for whatever reason, on to love Mish, it has to be that way. And I'm having to completely transform my inner dialogue and my perception of men. So I thank you, Vest. I thank you for being here and being cool and being open and not like trying to tell me. And I have other, thing is what's happening, and this is legit true, I'm starting to realize that I'm healing so profoundly that like my friendship circles, my professional relationships, my familial relationships, those are healing and coming into harmony. The last 2.5 year cycle, I've really had to look at my unconscious programming around men, love, and romance. So that's healing. So now I'm seeing harmony and equanimity in my friendship, professional, my career, my working life, like like suddenly all of those things are working really, really, really well. And like obviously the relationship with my body and all that kind of stuff. So like compared to where I've been, I'm a really juicy, like happy person. I'm just full of life as well, which means I like feel intensely, I'm passionate, people are sometimes like, whoa, like calm down. I'm like, like, no, you don't get to tell me what to say or how to be. That's not how it works anymore. So the kind of depth of and multi-layered aspect of love and relationship for me as a woman is what I'm undoing. And then in that kind of paradoxical and or simultaneous way, I'm having to get quite clear about what it is that I desire, what it is that I deserve, and how that kind of feels and how that looks. And because the programming is so kind of hardcore and quite and pretty fucking disempowered, I'm shifting a lot, i.e. these last 2 days, I'm not looking so happy for you. Oh, quel dommage. Like, and that's not what I'm here for. And that's kind of, it quite ties in with my romantic past, is that unless I showed up, unless I gave my body, unless I gave my money, unless I kind of gave everything to the man in my life, he would leave me, right? And that's kind of what happened. I know, right? But then we're busting through all that. And I'm glad you also had that like reaction of just like, and if anything, let's be honest, like when we're more emotional, not actually, no. But you know what I mean, of like that vulnerability and that kind of ease and softness. If anything, I feel like my heart transmissions are more pure when I'm just like centered and not necessarily like, hi guys, but they're all parts of who I am, so I'll just accept all of them. That's again another part of why I'm here. I don't know where I was going with all this, guys, but anywho, thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. Thanks for showing up for me and for you. Most importantly, I'm just really happy that you're showing up for yourself and that we're finding more of us who resonate with each other. Let me know if you guys have any topics you want to discuss, or otherwise I'll just feedback off of the comments. Yeah. Multiple, actually. I pretty much had this really intense cycle of like not just that person, but like multiple other of that kind of energy around me over and over again. And then each cycle I just got a little bit more kind of clear, right? Topic for a show. Oh God. But then here's the flip around, is that I'm fully responsible, right? So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna sit with that, because it's like, it's pretty deep and twisted and convoluted, but there must be a reason for us as a deeper learning of just how kind of messy the people's energy are, and I do really feel like we're in an up level, like a huge mass shift, like here now, because a bunch of us empath sensitives are now stepping into our power, and so we're literally disentangling patterned behavior among us that's been there for like thousands of years. So now that us empaths are kind of joining forces and being like, hey, yeah, we're not all crazy, are we? And we do understand what we're talking about. And these people are trying to fuck with us to steal our energy, god damn it. So now that we're starting to vocalize it, they're like, fuck, they're not going to do what we tell them to do anymore. We're not going to be able to keep them. We're not going to be able to lie to them. We're not going to be able to fucking suck their energy from them anymore. I would say, like, you guys, to be honest, most of us, if we're resonating with each other, we've had a very similar energetic experience when it comes to our relationships, right? Exactly. And the boundary just means like not engaging, like sensing the lies or sensing the, you get kind of, I have like loads of compassion, but then I'm just like, I'm so tired of it that I'm like, no. Tired of making excuses for people. I'm tired of feeling like I'm the wrong one always, and that it's always me that has to make more changes, or, you know, and realizing people don't actually want you to be happy. Like for me, leaving a group of people who like I always felt like I have to bend to and try and do this and try and do that. And then upon reflection, I'm like, wow, but they never even supported me. You know, they never reached out. They never made efforts. And the whole time I'm there feeling really bad because they're always saying you never made. And I'm like, I don't understand. But now I do, because I suddenly am starting to feel the sweet reward of self-care, self-responsibility in a true way, where for the first time in my 36 years this time around, in this body, I'm fully just taking care of myself, like just up until recently. Like I literally just busted, hence the like powerful energy shift the last 2 days. I was just clearing another lifelong pattern of disempowerment, of seeking validation by busting my balls for other people, rather than knowing that other people can bust their own balls for themselves. So now I'm like really stepping into my freedom, being like, oh my God, this is easier actually. Holy cow. Exactly, loving now. US, Philippines, I saw someone else there, Nestor, I think it was. So yeah. So for the first time in my life, I'm suddenly not working for other people, and I'm not concerned about making everybody else's world better for them. I fully know that everyone's connected to source and they can do the same. And so the more I just stay focused on me, I'm like, well, I'm actually pretty good with myself. whether I'm happy or unhappy, whether I'm in ecstasy and bliss vibration or sitting in the stew of my own shit, not knowing how I'm gonna get out. All of it is contained in the love, which is why I'll show up. Even when I'm sad and crying, I'll still show up for you guys, because I have like full love and acceptance for the totality of all of us. So what up? What up, girl? Hey, Mickey Bates. Oh my God, this was fun. See how I'm just intuitively guided to go live, and then all y'all's is here. I did the same, but it's just contrast. Exactly. Like, we don't need to, it's not about judging people, like, because what we realize is, like, all of us have some shit, and, like, we've all been programmed by these illusions, and, like, we're breaking through these illusions, and, like, the truth of it is just resonance. Like, that's the purity of what I talk about in my book, is just riding your own balls of wave shit. Yeah, and it's just resonance, and, like, for me, that was a really important piece when it came to writing the book, because I knew that it was just me talking for myself, right? I love you guys so much, and I didn't want to be, and I really didn't hold judgment against people, and I needed people to know that. But for me to really be the person I am, I had to just say what I wanted to say, be who I want to be. And, like, if you don't like it, that is cool. It just means we don't res. It means our vibrational secret, our signature frequencies, like our signature vibrations, are just not vibrating on the same wavelength. When they do, you do, and it works. When you don't, you don't. And, like, the biggest difference is me knowing my resonance well enough so that I don't have to try to shape-shift my resonance to meet people where they are, especially when it feels really shit. However, I'm thankful to have this, like, awareness and this wisdom where I'm like, there are ways for us to shift the shitty shit. But what I'm noticing is that what humans don't want to do is sit in it and actually even accept it, acknowledge it, and be honest about the fact that it's there. So a lot of us, in, like, I think in a privileged and entitled kind of way, like, caught up in the system, we just want to skip to enlightenment. We just want to skip to the love light. I just want to be a guru. I just want to be a teacher. And it's like, I think this is weird, right? But, like, I don't even know if that exists. Exactly. Alignment is just bliss. We're just, alignment is enlightenment. This whole gurudom thing of, like, these men or women, like, only when we wear robes then we're gurus, or like, this is how it looks. I don't know. I'm just like, I don't buy any of it. Some days I feel so peaceful and, like, at one with life and just blissed out. And from where I've come from, I'm just so thankful. And I know that meditation and yoga and me being me and me just totally loving myself for who I am, including my, like, weird loner vibes and, like, this wild and wonderful and weird perspective I have, the more I embrace it, the happier I am, and the less that other people stuff doesn't bother me so much. But then I get to share it with you guys and have you guys also see that and be like, what up? Like, exactly, because a lot of us have had people be like, you're supposed to be happy for me all the time. I'd be like, I can't. Exactly. I agree, Andrea. Nice one, the best. See, that's a good way of putting it. We're all enlightened because we're enlightened when we're in the presence and we're in love. That's so simple and beautiful. They are creating their own religion, and I not authentic in my opinion, but they act. Yeah. I see. This is so great. Thank you guys so much for having that reflection. Because I think, and that's maybe what people are now calling, like, the false light, is, like, us jumping basically from, like, Justin Bieber idol worship to, like, Gabby Bernstein idol worship to Eckhart Tolle. It's like we just transfer. And I saw that in India. That was like another level of my awakening, was when I was in India doing my yoga teacher training at these yoga schools, and, like, all the white Western, predominantly women, all the white Western women, like, at the end of yoga, going up to the photograph of Patabi Joyce or the photograph of Divananda or Shivananda, and, like, bowing and, like, putting the wreath. And I'm kind of watching, just being like, why are we worshiping like, because to me, true spiritual practice is like, it's like the heart, because like the heart, the altar, right? The heart of my connectivity, which is the yoking that heart connectivity, is the same one heart. Like the one heart in humanity, like one feeling is just the oneness of all that we are. So why am I externalizing? Why am I expected to give my inherent connection power to a dead yoga guru? Not that he's dead, because his presence lives forever, because we are all eternal and his teachings go on, right? But like, I always felt disempowered, and maybe it was because I grew up Catholic, right? But I always felt kind of disempowered having that, like, looking around at all these empowered, beautiful yogi type people, sensing that they're not really empowered because they have to give all their power to like the lineage of Ashtanga or like some, I don't know, you know, that's just me, you guys. I'm sharing, as Katie and I often say, when we're sending business messages, I'm rambling. I'm just talking a bunch of shit because you guys are here and you guys are entertaining me. But look, I'm actually getting sweaty, you guys, and my hair is getting more wild by the second because I'm sweating. And false idols, Melissa T, there you go. So my endeavor to you, look, I'm just sweating up a storm here, you guys. My promise to you is that I never want to be idolized. I just want to be respected like I respect and love all of humanity. And I don't need you to hold my hand or sing Kumbaya. And I don't need you to come up to me and go, what's wrong? Why are you sad? I don't know. No, just let me be. I got this. But I need you to get you. You can get you. I got me. And then we'll breathe and meet somewhere in the middle. And if we res, we res. If we don't, we don't. That is, Mehari, I hope I say your name right. Thank you! I love that, Amy Hill, like Andrea Hill. We don't idolize you. Thank you. Good. Because we're just friends, right? We just have mutual fucking respect for each other, which is how life should be. Not us just like power overing each other. Because that's sometimes what I pick up on, is like all this sharing stuff is actually just for show, and there's like weird manipulative tactics around all of it, which is painful to witness sometimes. So I'm gonna read this from Miss Kate, and then I'm gonna go, you guys, because I just love you so much. And look, I've been here for 40 minutes. I literally just wanted to go live to rant about getting triggered about not being a happy sunshiny person all the time. Willow Sage, that's my spiritual name, girlfriend. If you look back to my videos from like 2015, you'll see some of my posts are like, love Willow, because for some reason I got a download of like swinging on a willow tree when I was a kid. And then Willow Elizabeth Dawn came to me in a meditation. So Miss Kate says, every now in love, bliss be. There is no past, no future, only now exists. Every now creates the next now with its current momentum. So create now, you guys. Bliss, glowing. Oh my gosh, I have had so much fun with you guys this afternoon. It's been like a proper powwow. I'm gonna go. I know, right? Willow trees, I think, are quite like, that's like, it's like I res with a willow tree, because in a way willows like are kind of sad. Do you ever get that? And sometimes people think of me as quite sad. Even though I'm crazy as well. Love you guys. Have an awesome day, and I hope to see you guys real soon. Thanks. There it is. Have an awesome night, day, wherever you guys are, morning. I love you loads, and I can't wait to see you soon. Peace out, you guys.